ASICS have just released a brand new version of my current shoe of choice, the Gel Resolution 10. And I'm here in Melbourne for the official launch. So in this video, you're gonna get a sneak peek behind the scenes, hearing directly from the ASICS team about what innovations have gone into this shoe. And I'm gonna show you my playtest and tell you exactly what I think about it and whether it's better than the current Gel Resolution 9. Let's get into it. To give you a little bit of context about my playtesting experience, I actually got sent a prototype pair of the Gel Resolution 10 around 6 weeks ago. At that point, I was sworn to secrecy, but what I did show you was the colorway. It was all black, which is definitely my cup of tea. I will show you more of the ASICS team's plans about what colorways they're going to be releasing later in this video. But even earlier than 6 weeks ago when I was sent the prototype, I actually had a sneak peek of the shoe about 9 months ago when one of the ASICS team came down to my tennis club to shoot some content. At that point, ASICS were able to count the amount of people that had tried the shoe on one hand, so I was really honored. Fast forward to today and I'm here in Melbourne for the ASICS Tennis Summit, which means I can tell you all about the shoe, holding nothing back. For full transparency, you probably saw the pay promotion thing above the video here, which basically means ASICS have covered my expenses to come out here to Melbourne, but I don't have to say anything in particular about this shoe. Neither do I have to get approval from them before posting. So these thoughts are exactly what I think of the shoe. So first up, who is the Gel Resolution 10 for? If you saw my review of the Gel Resolution 9, you may remember that ASICS split their playing styles into 3 player types. Number 1 is the baseline player. This is a player like me that likes to grind it out at the baseline with a lot of lateral movement. This player needs lateral stability, meaning that when they're pushed out into the corners of the court, they feel super stable in their shoe. The second player type is the all-court player. This is a player that likes to cover more of the court, especially moving forwards up to the net. This type of player requires pure speed, and so that type of shoe is super lightweight and close to the ground. And the third player type is best of both. This gives you a great combination of lateral stability, but also flexibility to move more quickly. Where the Gel Resolution fits in is the baseline game, as this shoe is built for optimizing stability, durability, and comfort. Now, there are 4 noticeable changes between the Gel Resolution 9 and the Gel Resolution 10. In my opinion, the most recognizable part of the Gel Resolution range is the Dynawall. This is the hard material that wraps around the side of the shoe. This is designed to give you lateral stability. And what it does is it holds your foot in the shoe when you're pushed out into the corners of the court. Honestly, this is why I love the Gel Resolution line, as I really like that feel of being supported when I'm pushed out wide. But what ASICS have done on this new Gel Resolution 10 is they've actually softened the material that the Dynawall is made from, meaning that you still have that great lateral stability, but there's a little bit more give and comfort when you're pushed into those positions. Next up is this midsole here. It's called FF Blast, and this midsole is designed to give you much more comfort when you're planting your heel into the floor as you step down for a shot. I'll tell you how that feels in a second. Next up, there is a unique lacing system. You might recognize these orange strips here. They were on the previous Gel Resolution 9, and they were a great addition to help you to cinch in the laces around your foot. However, ASICS have added these extra eyelets, which allow you to customize the fit of the shoe. And finally, something that makes this shoe look very different to normal tennis shoes is this high rise ankle support here, almost like a basketball shoe. This is supposed to support the Dynawall with your lateral stability, helping to prevent you turning your ankle, which is obviously a great addition to the shoe. You can actually see that high ankle rise support here. And if you look closely from the back of the shoe, you can see that there is an ever so slight tilt in this direction, really supporting that lateral push off.
And then the last technology is all about the outsole. And this is something you will see in every shoe we offer in the baseline playing style. A full length outsole. So more rubber underneath the foot, going from the rear foot into the forefoot. Because by having more rubber, you will have more grip and you will have more stability.
But enough about what the design is supposed to do. Let's talk about what it really felt like. So, how did it feel during my playtesting? Like I say in all of my shoe and racket reviews, no product is perfect for everybody. And so at the end of the video, I'll tell you whether I think this is the right shoe for you or not. But from my personal experience, as someone that likes a stable and sturdy feeling shoe, this is honestly my favorite so far. And I'll tell you why. As soon as I put this shoe on my foot around 9 months ago, it was possibly the most comfortable shoe I've put on my foot straight out of the box. However, what I would say is when I was walking around with it for the first couple of minutes, I did feel this high rise touching my ankle. And psychologically, I didn't really like that feeling. However, as soon as I hit a couple of balls with it, I forgot about it. And because it's so soft, it really doesn't make any negative impact to the feel of the shoe. I think it's purely a case of something different touching my ankle that I wasn't used to. But you could really feel the midsole cushioning as soon as you put the shoe on your foot. And as a tennis coach and somebody that's on their feet for a long period of time, wearing tennis shoes that aren't generally that comfortable, this was completely different. So if you're looking for purely comfort, there aren't many shoes that come close to this. You may have seen that I've also tested out the ASICS Solution Speed, which is a very different shoe. That shoe doesn't have as much cushioning because it's closer to the ground, designed for pure speed, and it's much more lightweight. This shoe isn't particularly light. It's not designed purely for speed. It's designed for stability and durability. And so if you're looking for a super lightweight shoe, this probably isn't the shoe for you. However, to be completely honest, most players that are not professional tennis players will not feel the difference between a heavier and lighter shoe. At least it won't affect their performance that much. But for someone like me that's already used to using a sturdy stability shoe, this does not feel heavy in the slightest. On the theme of comfort, the one thing that I found after using the Gel Resolution 9 for a couple of years is it had quite a boxy feel. Because it's a stability shoe, it really wants to feel quite rigid on the outsides, possibly due to its rigid dyno wall. However, when playing with this and doing some lateral movement drills, you didn't feel this at all. This shoe really wraps around your foot nice and snug, and so rather than feeling boxy and rigid when you're moving out to the corners, you actually completely forget that you're wearing a shoe. You could actually see how soft and comfortable this midsole is here. Because I've been playing in it for a bit, it's actually started to crease up a little bit, which you generally see this sort of midsole in a super comfortable running shoe. And I absolutely love that they've added it to the new Gel Res 10. So for comfort, it has a massive tick for me. And when it came to stability, it really didn't disappoint. Honestly, this feels like the most stable tennis shoe I've worn. As I said, I'm a big fan of the Gel Resolution 9, and the other stability shoe that I like is the Adidas Barricade. This is more stable than both of those, and is more comfortable. I think it's the combination of the dyno wall and the high ankle here. I felt fully supported when I was pushed into those corners, but without any restrictions.
So I've been out here for about 2 hours hitting. It's pretty hot. But one thing that I mentioned earlier was the comfort of these when I put them on my feet, how easy they were straight out of the box. Now I've got wide feet, and I didn't actually consider if I had narrow feet how they would fit. But after speaking to a few of the guys here that do have narrow feet, at the start they actually said that there was a little bit of movement inside the shoe with their foot. And what they did was they laced up the shoe through these secondary eyelets here. And what that does is it cinches in the shoe around your foot much more tightly, snug. And for narrow-footed people, that is ideal. So for me, putting them in the normal eyelets is perfect. It's comfortable for my wide foot, but if you've got narrow feet, you could also adjust it so you can make it bespoke to your foot. And what's even cooler is you can choose which eyelets you put in the wide setting or the narrow setting. So if you've got a certain part of your foot which is wider than other players, you might want to adjust the holes there. So pretty cool feature.
Now, if I were to give any feedback to ASICS about what improvements they could make for the Gel Resolution 11, maybe it's a personal thing to me, but there was one tiny detail. When I was walking with the shoe, not running around, just walking, the upper material here, which is kind of like a rubberized material, as it creased and puckered, it created like a tiny clicking sound, which had no impact on its performance or its feel. It was just something that I could hear when I was walking. It's actually a pretty soft and breathable material, but that was just something that I noticed. And finally, when it comes to colors, I actually really like this color. You guys know that I'm a big fan of wearing black, so I absolutely love the prototype version. Unfortunately, ASICS haven't released that version yet, but this is what the main man Rennie said about colors.
Where they basically look at all the latest trends. And what we do is that we have a seasonal color. So the shoe color you're wearing right now is a seasonal color. So for this season, that's our main color. And around it, we will have other colors as well. So then that's what we call core colors. And core colors are more like the blacks and the whites, which everybody will be able to use, right? And the seasonal color is for some people, it's more like hate and like, right? So some people will really like it. And what you see often in the beginning, people maybe don't like it yet, but then if a lot of people are wearing it, they start to like it, right? That's basically how fashion works, right?
So it sounds like there are going to be more black and white colors in this range, but let me know in the comments below what you think about the Aussie Open colorway. It does look pretty nice on Lorenzo Musetti in his all purple kit, and let me know in the comments below if there's a specific colorway that you'd love to see in this range. So, is the Gel Resolution 10 the right shoe for you? Now, if you're already a fan of the Gel Resolution line, like me, in my honest opinion, this is the best yet. But if you've never tried the Gel Resolution line before, what you need to consider is weighing up the pros and cons of a stable shoe versus a speed shoe. A stable shoe like this one isn't going to be quite as light as a speed shoe like the Solution Speed. However, a Solution Speed isn't going to feel as comfortable or as stable when you're moving from side to side. I honestly feel that most amateur players don't need the added benefit of losing a few grams of weight. What I personally feel, which is why I use these shoes, is we need to feel super safe and stable in them. And what this gives me is honestly ideal. And so there you go. That is the ASICS Gel Resolution 10. Let me know if you have any questions about it in the comments below. Thanks as always for watching all the way through to the end of the video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.